She slapped me. Right there in front of 200 people, a string quartet, and the priest who hadn't even finished his blessing. The crack of her hand against my face echoed through the hall like a gunshot. Gasps rippled through the crowd, an orchestra of disbelief. Her veil trembled as she turned away, clutching her hand like it burned. And I didn't move. I just looked at her, calm, unblinking, while my cheek reddened under the soft lights. Her mother stood behind her, a serpent in a silk gown, whispering poison into her ear. I saw it, the flicker of guilt in her daughter's eyes. For a second, she wasn't sure why she'd done it, only that her mother had told her to. Everyone waited for my reaction. The groom, humiliated on his own wedding day. But I didn't shout. I didn't walk out. I simply lifted my head, adjusted my collar, and smiled. That smile ruined her. We met 3 years ago at a charity gala, one of those shallow gatherings where people pretend to care about causes they can't even pronounce. She was radiant, not because she was beautiful, though she was, but because she knew how to look at people, like they were the only person in the room. She looked at me that way. Back then, I thought it meant something. She laughed at my cynicism, my quiet detachment, said I was too serious for my age. I told her she was too trusting for hers. We met again, and again. Before I knew it, her world had folded into mine. Her mother was the first red flag, a woman who smiled like a politician and listened like a lawyer. She never looked at me, only through me. When she spoke, it was to measure. Every word, a transaction. But love makes you blind, or worse, complacent. It started small, late-night messages she wouldn't explain, a secretive tone on calls she took outside, work things she said. Then the way her mother's driver would drop her off when she claimed she'd taken a cab. I didn't accuse, I observed. When trust cracks, the mind becomes forensic. Every look becomes evidence. Every hesitation, a confession. One evening she fell asleep on the couch, her phone still unlocked beside her hand. I didn't plan to look, but it lit up on its own. A message from a man named Daniel. Don't worry, she'll never find out. After the wedding, we'll make sure he's out of the picture. I stared at the screen until my reflection stared back from the glass. The message was clear. This wasn't love. It was a setup. Her mother had found herself a fool with money, and her daughter was the delivery mechanism. I didn't confront her. Confrontation gives power to the guilty. Silence gives power to the patient. So I smiled. I planned. My company, my father's legacy, was supposed to merge with her family's firm after our marriage. I was the majority shareholder, but she would gain joint control through the marital clause her mother's lawyers insisted upon. I had agreed, publicly, but quietly I rewrote the script. First, I met with my legal team, privately, off record. A silent clause was added. Any attempt to transfer assets or manipulate ownership without my written consent would nullify her stake. Second, I moved all financial control to a trust under my godfather's name, effective the morning of our wedding. By the time she walked down the aisle, the empire she thought she was marrying into already had a firewall around it. All I had left was timing. At the rehearsal dinner, her mother toasted me. To the man who will make our daughter the happiest woman alive. I raised my glass. And to the woman who taught her how to lie with grace. Everyone laughed. Everyone except her. She knew. For the first time, I saw fear, not guilt, in her eyes. The wedding was immaculate, a cathedral drenched in white and pretense. She walked toward me, veil trembling like a secret trying to hold its breath. Her mother leaned close before we exchanged vows, whispered something in her ear. I didn't hear it, but I saw the venom take effect. And then, the slap. Instant, brutal. Her mother's smile widened. I stood there, steady, my face turned just enough for everyone to see the calm behind the mark. Then I spoke, just loud enough for the microphone to catch. "It's all right. She's just realized her plan failed." The crowd murmured. Confusion turned to curiosity. Her mother froze. "You see," I continued, voice smooth, "marriage is built on trust. But when one party signs under false pretenses, the law considers it void, which means this wedding never happened." A few gasps. The priest stammered. I turned to the guests, then back to her. "And as of this morning, your mother's company has been audited. Fraud, embezzlement, false filings, all tied neatly to her accounts. Evidence she kindly left in the emails she sent through your phone." Her face drained of color. Her mother's did too. "You were the bait," I whispered, stepping close enough that only she could hear the rest. "And I took it. Now watch what happens to the hand that cast it." That night, headlines bloomed across every screen. CEO cancels wedding amid corporate scandal. Financial empire collapses following fraud exposure. Her mother was arrested within 48 hours. The daughter wasn't charged, but the court of public opinion is crueler than any jury. The invitations hadn't even been taken down before she became a scandal. Her brand deal's gone. Her friends gone. I didn't block her calls. I wanted her to keep trying, to hear the silence she left me with. Weeks later, she showed up at my office, eyes hollow. "You destroyed me," she said. I looked up from my desk, signed one last document, and said, "No, you did." People think revenge feels like fire. It doesn't. It feels like ice, sharp, still, clean. The night after the wedding, I stood by the window of the hotel room that was meant for us. Below, the city pulsed, oblivious. I thought of her smile, of how easily it turned into a weapon. And then I thought of the look in her eyes when the truth hit her. That's the thing about masks. They always crack from the inside. I didn't get my happy ending. I got something better. Closure. She took my love and turned it into leverage. I took her betrayal and turned it into proof. And now, when people ask me why I smiled that day, why I didn't fight, didn't cry, I tell them the truth. Because the moment she slapped me, I knew the show had begun.